Hi, and welcome to another episode of Honest AF Show with me, Daniela Clark.
And me, Barbara Ann Wild.
Miss Barbara Ann Wild. It's always a good day when I get to see you.
I know. I feel the same. I actually look forward to whenever we tape. It's like the highlight.
Yes, it's totally the highlight of my life.
Me too. It's been the highlight of my life since COVID. It's like the greatest
God.
thing ever.
It's so good. So you just got back into town
Again.
You're like a moving target. I never know where the heck you are, what you're doing. I cannot keep up with you.
Well, it's funny because I text you and Randy when I'm taking off somewhere, when I'm landing. So sometimes that's how you remember that I'm going away. But I have to keep up with my husband. I have been booked all over the world constantly.
I know.
But so I got to go to Boston. Zach finally is home back stateside from Europe. And he did 6.5 weeks with Pantera, and then a couple of days off when I was over in England, which were not days off. I made him work, which he loves. It's not even like a chore. Like, he just loves it. He wants to work all the time. But then he went right on into Zach Sabbath, and he flew straight to Boston because he started with Experience Hendrix. So I flew out a couple days early so that we had a couple days off together, and we had the best time.
Oh, nice.
It was just so nice. Like, literally, I think it was his first real 2 full days off.
That's so nice.
Like 3 months.
You got to relax and hang out with you.
We had the best time. We did a lot of shopping. We went to really great restaurants for dinner.
You sent me like
desserts.
I was like, oh, how dare you.
He's in the middle of Lent.
Rude.
So he gave up sugar. He gave up red sauce. He gave up pizza. He gave up everything. So he was living vicariously through me and just ordering up anything that was out of control. But we had the best time. Like, even in the middle of the day, we woke up, have coffee, and that's like his favorite thing to do. Like, he calls it our, morning coffee date. And then we would go back to the hotel, like in the middle of the afternoon. And I was like having brie and crackers, and he was having his fruit, and just in the hotel and just like chilling, and had the best time.
He
loves to shop,
which
is great. And so, he's always like, try that on, buy this, do that, So, and he got we went to this amazing vintage shop. We were right around the corner from Newbury Street purposefully because I booked the hotel. And so we, for those who don't know, Newbury Street in Boston, these incredibly beautiful brownstones that are all repurposed as fabulous shops. And then parallel to Newbury Street is, Massachusetts. It's right near Berkeley School of Music, which was really fun to go kind of peruse around there. And then all the like really upscale shops are parallel to the cool, like Diesel, and they had a Biologique Recherche.
Did you make your way in there? Of course you did.
I did. I actually had scheduled a facial with them, but then I got a little nervous because my skin's so sensitive. But the girl was so helpful. They have I would not even consider them sales people. They are estheticians at the I don't even know if they're like mini doctor's assistants. They know the products inside and out. And this girl I said, can you make a little travel? Because Biologique makes all of their formulas and all of their little vials of magic in travel size. So I asked her if she would make me like a full travel care. I told her what my skin concerns were, and she walked me through everything from cleanser to serums to moisturizers to they now have sunscreen to just incredible. And so that was a treat. I did that the day before he got in. I got there a day ahead of him so that I could meet him at the airport.
And it's great because then you can do all the things that you you know he's not going to want to do.
Right,
Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
But I canceled the facial because he booked us massages for the day before, and I felt like it was already indulgent enough. But we had massages. It was just
So good. That's
fantastic.
such a nice thing to do together.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah. It
great.
was 2 days that felt like a week because
Uh-huh.
we didn't spend a minute not doing something fabulous.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so good. I'm so
yeah.
glad.
It
Have
was
fun.
awesome, and
That's fun.
lots of hotel sex, which is always the best, and
Yeah.
have to report on all my new products for, in that department. They're
Yeah.
5 stars all the way, all good,
Very
and,
good.
yes.
We're going to talk about all that. We're going to discuss all that. What have we been doing? I don't know. We were busy doing all kinds of fun things too because
Wait, let's back up to Gilby. How is
his eye situation. He's actually
Yes.
going on Friday for his follow-up appointment. He's still seeing some, he calls it a galaxy. He still sees
Oh,
like little spots and things.
okay,
So that's not completely resolved yet.
okay.
Um, but he's feeling a lot better because he's not having to put a gazillion drops in his eyes. That stopped.
He doesn't have to lay on his
He doesn't
side?
have to lay on his side
Thank
anymore. Thank
goodness.
goodness. And he's able to resume his normal activities within reason. Obviously, he can't like headbang or lift weights or do anything strenuous, but he can resume his normal
What
activities.
about flying? When is he gonna
He's allowed to fly.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I was
because
wondering about the eye,
the
the air
gas bubble
pressure.
that they put in your eye,
Yeah.
when you have the gas bubble in your eye, you cannot fly.
Makes sense.
So because you have gas in your eye.
Yeah.
But the gas dissipates within 2 weeks.
Oh,
So since
okay.
it's been way over 2 weeks now, he's allowed to fly.
Wow.
And for those of you listening that or watching that don't know what happened, Gilby had a detached retina, my husband, and he had to have a procedure done where they put a gas bubble in to kind of block the
Almost like a dam, right? Like it blocks the fluid.
Yeah, from coming in further and creating more damage to the retina.
Crazy.
So that's actually under control now.
Thank
I'm hoping that
God.
when he has his follow-up, that the retina is healing and not detached anymore. As of the last appointment we had, it was still detached.
Oh,
so
okay.
We'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime, what did we do? Oh, we had like a fun thing this last weekend. When Gilby did that, they did that documentary on Gilby Origins.
Yes,
documentary
that was
fantastic. Actually, you can
fantastic.
watch it on YouTube. It's called Origins, and it's a documentary on bike builders and bikers in general. And so they did a documentary on Gilby, and now they did a documentary on one of the other guys that rides with us, Stephen Mata.
Awesome.
And so we went to the premiere of that, and that was at the Bike Shed,
how fun.
Which is downtown. And that was really fun. So we got to see all of our friends and got to watch the documentary. And then we went to, let's see, what else did we do? Oh, we've had such an exciting week because Frankie's record came out.
I know. I'm so excited. We're going to get to talk to Frankie in the next episode. I'm very excited.
We'll talk to her about that. But that was really exciting. Her record came out. Her single came out.
Yeah.
And her video came out too. So that was really fun. So we've been busy with that. I've been busy working. And
yes, you're a working girl now.
I'm a working girl now. I have like a job where I go there every day. Well, actually, like 3 days a week, and the other 2 days I kind of work remotely. But I got to tell you, that is.
What is that like now?
You know what? I'll tell you. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much.
Right.
But I am enjoying it because normally I work for myself or I consult or I creative direct or I style.
Right.
So I'm like in and out of projects. I'm not usually like at a stable project. I'm usually floating in and out of jobs. And this job I took at a company where I'm actually there all the time. And I didn't
physically
think
in person, in a clothing warehouse?
Yeah, I work downtown in a warehouse. Uh, it's we manufacture shirts and hoodies and
Right.
dresses and all
All the
kinds of
good
stuff. It's like a
stuff.
full collection.
Cool.
But I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do, and I'll tell you why I enjoy it. This is a really thing, and this all ties into a bigger conversation that we're going to have today. But was starting to feel like I was starting to feel like I was at the tail end of my career, and I was starting to feel like maybe I'm not as sharp as I used to be, like in my critical thinking. And,
Okay.
because as you get older and you go through menopause, that all starts to take effect. Like
Absolutely.
your
Cognitive function.
cognitive functions. Thank you. See, point made.
My son is currently about to get his master's degree in cognitive science, so I'm kind of it's very prevalent in my
there you go
household.
So my cognitive function has been dusted off, so to speak.
Get a jump start.
And so I'm enjoying that because all of a sudden I'm back in the thick of things.
That's awesome.
I'm dusting off my brain, and I'm realizing that my critical thinking is back. It's like muscle memory.
Yes.
All of a sudden I'm like, okay, whoop, 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 whoop. Everything is like falling into place.
That's
and
great.
I'm realizing that I still am I'm still that same person that can sit there and problem solve and think about the way a garment needs to be constructed in order for it to be price effective, and also for it to look like quality, and also at the same time to look stylish, and all the things that go into what it takes to do my job are starting to kind of, they're all jiving again. And I
got
just
your boss bitch vitality back.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. And I just feel like it feels good. It just feels good. Like that part of it feels really good. Like I feel like I'm back to like, okay, let's go. And like I get in there in the morning.
That's amazing.
I get in there in the morning and I put my purse down, I open my computer, and I'm running around the warehouse, and I'm just getting everything done, and it feels really good. It feels
great to have a purpose.
It's
100%.
Great to have a purpose.
Agreed.
It's great to feel like you're effective, like you're making something happen.
Agreed.
Like you're creating and you're doing things. And I've said this before in one of our shows, one of our podcasts, that it really helps you when it helps me when I'm feeling creative. And it doesn't matter what the creativity is, whether I'm just creating a recipe or thinking of ideas of how I want to change my career, or being creative in going on a date with Gilby, or whatever it is. That to me is thinking.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking, you feel better than when you're just kind of, vegging out.
Yeah.
And so I love that I have this job to go to, and that I get to like contribute, and that I get to collaborate.
Right.
And there's a lot of young people there, and we collaborate, and they enjoy listening to my experience and understanding where I come from and what I bring, and I enjoy listening to them and what they bring.
Right.
So it's really interesting, and I really like that aspect of it. And then I come home, and I'm back to my old schedule that I used to do, when I had Frankie B, when I had my company, which is I come home, I take the dogs for a walk, I go to Pilates, I cook dinner, I clean up after dinner, and then Gilby and I relax and watch a show together. And so it's like, it's nice because that whole hustle is back on, and I feel like I'm handling it well. So
agreed. I think that's why Zach likes working so much too. It's that, there is something great to have time off and to, rejuvenate and relax and to just have a really chill time. But after a while, it's like
you turn to mush.
Yeah, you to feel alive and to have that vitality and drive is just such a great feeling.
It's so important.
Agreed. I mean, I just sent you that meme the other day of those 3 women that were all well into their 90s. First of all, they all look, I might even.
Well, 90 does not look like 90 anymore.
These women look like I don't even think, I would say they look like they were in their 60s or 70s. They beautiful. All 3 of them.
Yes.
And the youngest one was 92. And they were all saying
she was the baby of the group.
Yeah, she was the baby of the group. But they were saying how, like, what is, like, retirement they would not be where they are today. They would probably not be alive. And they're basically saying, like, being part of society and contributing and doing things gives them this youth and vitality that they feel completely like they are young and they're all like healthy and, just there's something to that. I mean, Zach's father too. Zach's father was born in 1919 and he was, 70s and 80s when I was with Zach, when Zach and I first started dating. And his father and his sister used to have constant arguments about him retiring. And he did retire for a little bit from GM, worked there for 26 years, and he hated it. He's like, there's only so much landscaping I could do. I'm not having conversations with anyone that's stimulating my brain. He would beg for us to have problems with our cars so he could put them up on cinder blocks and work on them. But he was like, he worked at a gas station in New Jersey. They still pump their own gas. They have an attendant pump your gas. And Dad was just like, I don't want to retire. I like having a purpose. I like having to make my lunch every day. I like going there and meeting with people and talking to people and just it makes me feel alive. And it's so important.
It is. It's so important because for a while there, I was like, whoever was marching and creating women's lib, go home. I don't need that. I want to just be, sitting at home eating bonbons, and I don't want to have to work and do all that. For a while there, I thought that. I was like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with chilling. No, I'm absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It feels really good to be.
It feels so good. And I just like, even though I've always stayed busy and I'm always busy doing things, it's not the same as activating like that part of my brain.
Totally.
And where I actually have to like, I'm on the clock and I'm doing something and I have to get it done and there's deadlines and there's, there's a lot of money on the line and there's jobs on the line and there's consequences and, it's very different.
Agreed.
And so I'm really enjoying that process and I'm back into doing my Pilates. Summer's coming.
I know, I've got to get back into it. I started like 2 weeks ago, but I'm just trying to get all the house and the studio and everything ready for Zach before he gets home. He has no idea what Randy and I have been up to with the whole team.
I can only imagine.
With a whole team of people. Because
God, John has been there over time.
Oh, it's taken a village. Yeah. And, but as soon as I have that, because I'm definitely getting work physically, but I want to go back into my Pilates because it's, for me and you both, it's been a game changer.
It's like physical therapy. It just feels so good on my body and it helps me with my back issues. It helps me with everything and it just makes me feel better. It's always such a drag to make the decision to go. I can think of a million reasons not to go. And the big one is that I'm tired.
Right.
But I force myself to go. And once I'm there and I finish the session and I leave, I feel so much better. I feel 100 times better.
I used to feel that way about church. It's like your religion, right?
Yeah.
It's like going to church.
Yeah.
I don't have that excuse because I have a Pilates reformer in my house.
Yeah, you do.
But it's buried underneath the 8 guitars that Zach bought while he's been away. It's like weekly. Barb, can you ask the business manager if I could? I'm just like, just get it. You work so hard, just get it. But he buys all these guitars. He has like this massive guitar collection. None of them are like, he just loves ugly guitars.
He just likes buying guitars.
He
just like we like buying shoes.
Yeah, but oh my gosh. I mean, I could put another shoe rack in my closet. I need another house to house these guitars. It's out of control.
Well, he's out there.
Where are we going next from Oregon, Daniela?
Yeah, we got to go somewhere. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you have to do is, I mean, like, look, I have a gym at home too. I have a full gym. I never go in there.
I know.
I have to be motivated. Right. So going to a class and having me like pay for a class and having signed up for it is part of the process. Yes. That forces me to go.
Right.
So,
I love classes too. I find like Zach is so different. Zach has been lifting weights on his own with full discipline since he's like 14 or 15 years old. And I mean, he goes in and does a full workout. Yeah, and he has he's very, it's therapy for him too. Yeah. But I don't have that discipline on my own all the time. So I love classes because I feel like it's so motivating. But then I have that, I toy in my brain with the guilt of, you have all this at home. You're spending the money now to go to a class, but there is something about it.
It forces you to go.
Yeah. And the fact that the Pilates that I go to, and I think this is similar to the one that you do, it's a 45-minute class that it's very specific and quick. And I just love the way it's so motivating to go through the routine. Mm-hmm. I love Pilates classes.
It's so great for your body. It is just it's so good. And which leads me into our next conversation, is so important when you're, exercise is so important when you're going through menopause. Now, Barb and I just watched,
with millions of other ladies.
Of other women, we watched the Oprah Winfrey Menopause Special.
Yes. Menopause Revolution.
Yes. And it was so good because, and one of the things I think is important is for men to watch it.
Right.
Because they really need to understand what women go through and be able to like help. And because a lot of times, and I think this is true in many instances with health, is we don't know when when something's wrong with us, we don't really recognize it because we're busy. We're busy taking care of everything else and we put ourselves last. So we don't really recognize that maybe it's menopause or maybe it's whatever. And even with your husband, when they're sick, they don't really want to deal with it either. So it's up to the partner to kind of talk us through it sometimes. Right. Bring it to your attention, like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? I've noticed that you're
waking up 5 times in the middle of the night.
Yeah, or you're sweating. Yeah. You've got these hot flashes. Do you want to talk to your doctor about that? Is that something that you want to look into? Like, it's good for guys to understand it as well as women. But I thought it was really interesting because one of the things that I found out about it, about menopause, that I did not know.
Yeah.
Because I am on HRTs, as you know. The minute I started with the hot flashes and the depression and the joint pain and all the other accoutrements that come with it, I was like, something's going on. This is not me. This is not the way I am.
I'm not feeling like myself.
Don't feel like myself at all. I'm never blue. I'm a very happy person. This is not right. I went straight to the doctor and boom, HRTs.
Right.
So I do wear that little patch of estrogen, and I also take progesterone. One of the things that I did not know was a symptom.
What?
And I've been struggling with this for the past couple of years. I've noticed that I have ADHD. And
Interesting.
I never had it before, but I started to think that maybe I need to go to a doctor and get diagnosed with it because I'm having a hard time focusing on people, on what they're saying. They're talking, you're talking, I'm thinking 10 million other directions. And I notice it when I'm at work. I notice it all the time that when people are talking to me, I'm not really focused at all. And I'm all over the place. I have the attention of a fly. And I didn't realize that that is a very big symptom of menopause.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I've never had that before.
Yeah. I noticed that about myself too. Not such a great listener or retaining things.
Yeah.
Or when I'm reading a book, which never has been the case for me, that I have to reread it.
Me too.
Because I lose the retention of what I'm reading. It's interesting because my daughter, Haley Ray, has Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune thyroid disorder. And she has been having paramount ADHD symptoms, which, I mean, she is so brilliant and she has always been hyper-focused and very in tune. And
she doesn't seem like that at all.
She's thinking it's long COVID. And she is, spoken to her endocrinologist about it. She's spoken to her psychiatrist about it. And they all keep telling her that it's in her head and they're treating her for ADHD, but more so with, traditional like Ritalin. And she didn't have a good situation with that. So they put her on a different form of Adderall. And I keep thinking to myself, that is so foreign for her, but your thyroid is so interconnected with your hormones. And after watching the special, I said to her, you know what? They really need to do a full a hormone panel on you, because she has PCOS, which mimics menopause. It's a very similar situation.
That's interesting. And there's so many women out there
it's an elevated level of testosterone. It's not an underwhelming level of testosterone. It's an elevated level of testosterone. That's one of the things that you need for a diagnosis. But it's hormones is my point.
Yeah.
And so I said, you need to get that checked out because it might just be something that needs to be treated hormonally.
Right.
And then, I was thinking about it too after watching this special. And I mean, we've been talking about menopause forever and a day. And I think we've researched so much and we've learned a lot, but clearly there's a lot left to learn. But one of the things that I was thinking to myself was that there are symptoms that I've been having of other things, which I've been postmenopausal for 7 years. I didn't realize that could still be related to all of it. And, the psychology and the brain issues are really super interesting to me. I really want to learn more about it because, I also had moments where I was feeling blue or crying for no reason. You and I were talking about it and we're like, what is going on with us? Is it just that, we're not being stimulated enough? We're happy in our lives otherwise. Like what it's foreign for you and I, because we're not those
very
people.
Foreign. And where you don't find joy in anything. You don't find joy in eating. You don't find joy in watching a movie. You don't find joy in going out. You don't find joy in anything.
For me, I'm not a crier, and I was crying at the drop of a hat.
Me too.
And I'm like, this is not like me. And Zach said to me at one point, he's like, it's like we're in constant mourning. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
With,
it's so
why
hard
are you
to
sad?
recognize. And that was the one thing that I thought was really interesting that they said was we are going to be the last generation that suffers in silence, because we're bringing so much information out and we're bringing this out into the open. Like Frankie's generation, Haley Ray's generation, they're all going to benefit from the fact that we're making so much noise about it now and that it's out in the open. It's no longer taboo.
Agreed.
And that we're finally talking about HRTs and we're talking about all this stuff. because none of us really knew how to even recognize these symptoms because our parents didn't talk to us about it. No one talked to them about it. They didn't know. And it just wasn't something that was discussed.
It's really funny too, because I want to add to your point that you were just talking about, but I want to remember one of the things that I wanted to say before it escapes my brain.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was thinking about though is like, I kept thinking to myself, well, I'm not taking any hormones. But then I realized when I was younger, I took hormones for decades. I was on the birth control pill.
Sure. Yeah.
So I may have been having hormonal issues, but I was so even because I was taking hormones then. And you don't think of it as, oh, I'm taking hormones. You're thinking of, I'm taking birth control pills. It's incredible because my hormones were balanced back then and I wasn't having those issues. Maybe I need to balance them again, you know? So I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Which is why they keep you now on birth control longer.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I turned 50, I said to my doctor, why am I still taking birth control pills?
Right.
And he was like, oh, you're not going to want to get off of those. They're keeping you.
And a lot of women, myself included, who went off of them and then went back on them.
Yeah.
They weren't as effective or they were too effective. You know, so it's like kind of like why, you know, shake the apple cart a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of the things I want to say is I did have a conversation with my mother about menopause because I kept hearing like, I never went through, honestly, truly never had PMS. I never was one of those women that had huge mood swings. I've just always been kind of even keeled. Again, maybe it was because of the birth control pill. I don't know. Looking back on it now, maybe that's why, because I'm one of 5 girls and my sisters, I mean, 2 of them in particular could have committed a murder during their you know, menstrual PMS, cycles. And I mean, Ozzy used to say that about Sharon. Ozzy used to say to Zach, like, let's stay in the studio this week, like 12 hours, 14 hours, and I'm not going home. Sharon's like, you know, not fun to be around at this moment. But, and Sharon would be the first one to say like, it was brutal for her. PMS was. But I asked my mother, I said, Mom, you know, do you really go crazy? All I've ever heard is that women go crazy when they go through menopause.
Hysteria.
They become like, I mean, women were put in mental institutions. They were, you know, put in sanitariums when they went through menopause decades before, you know, our generation. And she said, you know, that wasn't my experience. I just stopped getting my period. But then I was thinking about it and she was like, I mean, Arlene and I, my girlfriend, we used to have like conversation would be like, whose mother was more of a bitch than, was it hers or mine? Our mothers were out of control. Now I think about it, you know, slamming cabinets and, you know.
She didn't recognize the symptom.
No, but as a teen daughter, was like, I thought my mother was just a complete bitch.
Yeah.
God rest her soul. She was going through menopause. She thought she wasn't having any symptoms. She was having them. She was having mood swings.
And that's my point, is that people didn't talk about it enough. So no one recognized it. Nobody knew that they were going through changes of life. They just thought they were turning into bitches.
But my mother was lucky, like I have been, and I favor my mother medically. Like, most everything. I had ovarian cysts. She had them. I had them just like her. I got my period around the same age. Like I have very similar health history like my mother. But she just the same as what happened with me. She just stopped getting her period. So she didn't have the hot flashes. She didn't have a lot of the physical symptoms, but the mental symptoms and the mood swings, 150%.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of the things that they said, I almost fell off the couch when I heard, was that 73% of divorced women blame menopause for their divorce.
Oh, really?
Did you hear that?
You know what? I keep getting to right when Maria Shriver is the guest and they have the psychologist talking about, or actually she's a psychiatrist, talking about the mental health aspects. And then I keep falling asleep because if I watch anything after 9 o'clock,
I watched the whole thing. Did you see that Naomi Watts story?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh my God. I love that story where she said that when she went out, when she first met Billy Crudup, who's now her husband, he's an amazing actor.
He's so cute.
And they were getting busy for the first time, she was embarrassed because she was wearing the estrogen patch and it was right by her. She puts it right by her groin. And she was embarrassed. So she ran to the bathroom to take it off and it was super sticky and she was struggling with it because it leaves like a little bit of a residue. A sticky residue, and she was scrubbing it and scrubbing it. And she was taking forever. And by the time she came out, she was all frazzled. And he goes, "Are you okay? Are you not in the mood, or what's going on?" And she's like, "No, it's not that. It's just that I'm old and I'm in menopause and I wear a patch and I was trying to get it off because I'm embarrassed." And he's like, "Well, we're both old. And by the way, I have gray hairs on my penis."
Yeah,
I was like, that is
part
brilliant.
about it was Oprah repeating it from her book. It was great.
It was brilliant. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, it's a great special. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it. One of the things that another thing that was really interesting is they had this doctor on. What is her name? Hillary, Dr.
Oh, the one that wrote the book.
Dr. Hillary Kavanaugh or something.
I don't know.
Menopause.
I'm going to buy her book for everybody, though.
Yeah, so she wrote a book about it. But one of the things that's really interesting is she was saying that if you have a low libido, a low sex drive, you should definitely get your testosterone checked because testosterone could help you.
Which I just did.
And then there were people talking in the a couple people were talking, saying that they have the pellets, they get those pellets and they can't leave their husbands alone. They're wearing their poor husbands out because they just want to have, and it's true because a couple of my girlfriends have the pellets and they say the same thing, that they just like are driving their husbands crazy because they can't stop attacking them.
They're very controversial. I've know people that have been told that they have literally gotten cancer from them.
Really?
Breast cancer. So I think that I'm not 100% on board with the pellets. I do know that when I just was tested, my testosterone is very low, and that they suggested starting with that P141, the peptide nasal spray, which I just started, and we'll see, because I instantly flushed, which is a symptom. A side effect, but we'll see when I do it again if it becomes more of a thing, because it did make me a little heart racy, flush, but I'm excited to try it. I'm really want to go the journey. But they say that there's
a lot of different things that you can do.
This doctor said, like, the big guns are the pellets. They would start with the peptide, and then if that seems like I would want to go to the next level, would be the cream. That there's a little bit of testosterone cream that you put on your inner thigh. But the pellets are very controversial.
Yeah. Well, this doctor has a couple recommendations for that too. That you should look into. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was the progesterone. She was talking about, I take progesterone. I take 200 milligrams for the first 10 days of every month. A lot of women take it all month. I can only take it for the first 10 days of the month. Because if I take it too long, I get too much bleeding. So, but what they were saying that was really interesting is that if you take the progesterone at night before you go to sleep, and you add a teaspoon of fat to it, like peanut butter or coconut oil, and you take it with that, it helps to activate it faster and helps you sleep better.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, really interesting. There was another woman that I heard talking, not on the show, but I saw her online, and she says she actually bites the progesterone and releases it in her mouth with the fat, the teaspoon of fat.
Oh, wow.
And that way it goes in faster and it helps you sleep.
Amazing.
Really helps you get like a good night's sleep. It helps to calm you down.
Wow.
So, yeah, but they talked about how important it is during menopause to check into HRTs if your doctor thinks it's a good option for you, because it really helps with so many things.
Right.
And it's not at all the controversy that it used to have.
Yes.
It's actually the complete opposite, and it really does help. So there is help out there, ladies. That's the good news. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great.
And it's streaming now. You can watch it on Hulu.
Right.
It's streaming on Hulu. So if you,
I wish they would have. My only problem with it was that I wished. I mean, in 1 hour, I think every single guest could have been one show. Specific,
they could have made it
they could have made it a series because there's so much more information to learn, and I just didn't want it to end. So that's my only complaint, was that there's so many more questions and so much more to learn about, and I'm going to buy that book. It's like a menopause Bible.
So here's the doctor that wrote the book. It's called The Pause Life, right?
No, then it's the other doctor. I'm talking about the woman that was on the couch with her with the glasses.
Yeah, that's her. Her name is Dr. Marie Claire Havar.
Yeah.
And I think she wrote a book called The New Menopause.
Yes, The New Menopause.
The New Menopause. And if you want to follow her on Instagram, it's Dr. Marie Claire.
Yes.
And that's is it Marie? No, Mary Claire. Mary, last name Claire, Claire.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's a menopause specialist, and she was saying even that for the most part of her career, she was a terrible menopause doctor because she only had 6 hours of training, which they all get. That's it. And until she went through it, and started actually really researching it, that's when she became a great menopause doctor.
I mean, she's a renowned OBGYN. And that it's very interesting when they say those things, because there's a lot of different occupations that they're like, oh, well, we had one class on this or 2 hours on this, because it's not huge mainstream. But, when they're saying how many billions of women are going to be going through menopause. What was it? Like 1 billion women right now are going through it. And did they say
every
something
single woman
every
at some point will go through
minutes, another woman is entering menopause presently in the United States.
Just in the United States.
Not even worldwide.
Yeah. Wow. Well, check it out. There's a lot of information out there now and a lot of help available. So make sure you check it out. I think we've gabbed long enough. Is it time for Flicks AF?
Sure.
I have a good one.
Oh, good.
Have you heard of this new series? It is with Seth Rogen. It's called The Studio.
It's in my queue. I just finished and I'm all caught up on White Lotus.
Oh my God. It is so good.
Love him. He is one of my,
after
Steve Martin is Seth. It's
really good. It is.
His Instagram is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, he's funny. But this is a satire on the movie business. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Curb Your Enthusiasm and Entourage. If they had a baby, this would be their show.
I was told that it's a little bit like Gary Shandling's own show.
Yes. Kind of like that too.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, it's that kind of humor. It is so good. There's a ton of cameos, but Seth Rogen is in it, and Catherine O'Hara is in it, which is, come on.
Love.
Tons of cameos. Martin Scorsese so far. I've only watched, I think, the first episodes that they've released. I think there's only 3 or 4 that I've watched so far, and I can't wait for the next one. They come out on Wednesdays.
So excited.
It's so good. It is so funny. Gilby and I were roaring with laughter.
Oh, that's great.
We were just screaming. It was so funny. And they had Martin Scorsese was on one of the who else is in it? Oh God, what's his name? Walter White from Breaking Bad. Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
he's in it. He's fantastic.
I'm probably the only person left on earth that didn't see Breaking Bad. I haven't watched.
Charlize, you got to see that. Charlize Theron has a cameo in it. There's so many cameos.
That's so great.
It's so fun to watch, and I believe it's on. I want to say it's on Apple TV.
I don't know. It is on a cable TV. I mean,
it's on Apple
channel.
Or on Prime.
Oh, great.
On Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It is so funny and good. I love it. So if you're looking for a new show to watch.
It's been getting rave reviews. I actually am so excited. I watched all of season 1, all of season 2. I'm caught up on season 3 on White Lotus.
Good.
You know, I wanted to ask you about it because season 1 was just amazing.
Off the hook.
Season 2 was fantastic.
I loved season 2. The ending.
Season 3 is so bizarro to me.
It's very bizarre. I'm dying to see where it goes. And can you believe
it's so dark?
There's only one
episode 90-minute finale.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for where they're going to go next.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how they tie this all in and where it's going.
I was listening to Andy Cohen's radio station last night, and they were saying that the next one is rumored to be in a cold climate, like a skiing vacation. Oh. So that could be interesting because it's all been tropical.
Yeah.
It'd be fine. Interesting to see a whole different take.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The location is such a huge part of it.
Yeah. I thought that one thing I'm finding really interesting about this season is the dynamic of 3 women as friends.
Yeah.
They always say that is never a good thing. And I have a very similar relationship with 2 of my best girlfriends growing up, with the 3 of us. And it was always a weird thing with 3. It's a weird, it is a weird dynamic. But so I guess I should do Barb's
Bag of Tricks.
You know, I was going to do something different, and I'll save it for next episode because you touched on a lot about cognition and cognitive function. And one of the things that I've been doing that I love so much and I want to share with everybody is this app called Elevate. And it is to exercise your cognitive function.
Ooh,
and it's an
great.
app. You can set it to play for 5 minutes a day, 10, 15 minutes, up to a half hour. And it's a bunch of different little games that just exercise your brain and your cognitive function. And it's memory recall.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's, one of them is to quickly be able to compute tips. So it's like they'll set it at 10%, 20%, 25%, and you have to like quickly compute what it is. They'll give you comprehension. So like they'll say aloud a full paragraph, and then you have to pull out the different things that they talked about and drag them to the right, like if they're talking about geographically, like 3 different places in the world, what's the main commodity in that place, and then you have to drag it, or name recognition, which is
I
really
love that. It's awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
It's super inexpensive. It's an app. I've been I'm obsessed. Like I have it right now. You're ready to do your cause it gives you like your 7-day streak or your 6-day streak or a 2-week streak of doing them in a row. But it's Elevate, just ELEVATE, and it's just measuring things like recipes. It gives you a 2/3, and you have to double it, and it makes you drag the amount of cups to double it. And there's a daily crossword puzzle, which I already do, and I love.
It's
so great. Sequencing,
exercise
language.
for the brain.
That's exactly what it is, and. I mean, you could do it at any age, but it's so great for cognitive function and to just,
I need that. I'm going to totally download
It's fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So that's my bag of tricks for today.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right, guys. I think we have just been gabbing very long today. But
look at us with our cognitive function.
Apparently it's in full force. All right. Well, I think that does it for this episode of Honest AF. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and subscribe, and our across all of our channels, we're Honest AF Show. Website is honestafshow.com. Until next time.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. We obviously need to do a disclaimer here, so we want you to know we are not doctors or experts by any stretch of the imagination. We are just a couple of gals that are looking for magical products, procedures, and experiences. And in our quest, we will share our honest as fuck opinions with you. So please make sure before you try anything we talk about that you know your own restrictions and do so at your own risk. Do not blame us for any of your issues. We're just experimenting too.